So, currently, I am working on a new album, and I only have 3 songs done for it, 3 or 4, maybe 5, but some are bound to be chopped out. And I've been kind of wanting to break out of the bedroom recording, lo-fi genre. I don't want to get stuck in a niche and, you know, nail myself into a room that I'll never be able to get out of. So, what I'm kind of going for is, still songwriting is my main aspect of the music that I just want to be as good as possible. So, I've been writing a lot of songs, and I've been going to my buddy's studio in Salt Lake, and he's been I wouldn't usually go and record in a studio, but this is ridiculously cheap, so that is very good, and just taking advantage of that opportunity while I have it, because I probably won't have as good of an opportunity like this in the future. And so basically I've been going in and tracking the songs, like going in every weekend, tracking 1 or 2 songs. I've been tracking all the instruments to the songs, and having my buddy Taylor play drums. He plays in a local Salt Lake City band called Koala Temple, and he graduated from the high school I'm currently going to. I'm in my senior year of high school, and he graduated 3 or 4 years before me, so I never knew him, but he's amazing, and I just got to know him through the music scene in Salt Lake and going to see shows, and he plays in a very good band, and he's the best drummer in Salt Lake, so I just decided I wanted to have that on the record, that part be solid, and I'm fairly confident in my ability to play all the other parts, but this record isn't going to sound anything like I've done previously, so a lot of the people who do listen to my music are going to like it, and a lot are probably not going to like it because it doesn't have that. It has a raw rock and roll sound, but it's not rock and roll. It's, I don't know. I don't really want to explain it, but it sounds like my music, but electrified and loud and drony and slow and shoegazy, and they're pop songs, and they're I don't think it really sounds like any other bands. It's very unique. So this record is gonna be very explosive. I'm really proud of it so far. But also it's gonna have, some of my bedroom recordings on it to bounce it out. I'm not just gonna stick to the studio recordings and have 12 songs on the record be studio recordings, because for continuity that would be good, but that doesn't really matter to me. So I'm gonna throw in some songs that I've recorded in my bedroom in the past couple months. One song being a song that's coming out on the Orchid Tapes compilation this month. I think it's being announced. It's I don't know, I'm really proud of that song too. It's just so minimal, and in comparison to all the other songs on the record, I think it's just gonna be a really cool record. I'm not gonna shoot for anything or try and make it any certain way. I'm just gonna see how it turns out, and honestly not even putting like that much work into it. With all the tracks that I have tracked in the studio, they've all been one take, every instrument and basically everything. It's been done in one take just to keep the kind of like shitty pavement-esque vibes. And I don't want it to be perfect. So that's basically what is going on with my life and my music currently, and I would say it's gonna be out after the winter sometime, hopefully. It's definitely gonna be done in the next couple of months, but you never know with, pressing it and all that, how long it's gonna take. And also, one thing I forgot to mention, there is a split that Fog Lake and I are working on, and he sent me his tracks for it, and they're fucking beautiful as always. I mean, yeah, he's so talented. And he's got those 4 songs done. I'm actually thinking of putting some of the songs from my new record on the split, just for, I don't know, no reason at all. Why not? Just put them out there, give people a little taste of what to expect, maybe, get people on their toes. But that's basically my current musical life, and I'm excited about it. It's all going well. It's gonna be a cool upcoming year. I can't wait to see what 2014 brings. I would say all of my songs are basically the blues. And I say the blues like I would say lo-fi, it's like people misunderstand it. It's like independent, But, if you get it, you get it, and I don't feel like explaining it because you should figure it out on your own. But basically, thematically, it's always been the blues, and it's been about just being confused and shit and figuring all my stuff out. But I mean, for example, like this new album is my buddy's drawing the album cover up right now, and it's a picture of Mickey Mouse shooting dope into his arm, and then it says Euphoria Again in like the Disney font. And then I've got this song on the record about Mickey Mouse leaving Disneyland, packing his shit up. Minnie leaves him, and he goes, and he's gone off to become a transvestite drug addict. And so I've kind of gone off into writing indirect songs now. Just using different songwriting methods, not necessarily directly tackling issues or things in my life and just hitting them head on. I'm kind of going in a more abstract way, but still keeping I don't know, it's hard to explain. That's a big thing with the new record, just the death of the child. And I mean, you look at fucking kids, like my generation was just on the brink of being fucked in the ass by technology and shit. I grew up watching PBS on Saturday mornings, and that was all I had. But then, my 7-year-old sister and my 10-year-old brother, they were just in that generation that, now they have all the iPads, the iPhones, all that shit. And when they hang out with their friends, one of them's playing Xbox and one of them is playing on their phone, and there's no interaction. And it's just, I don't know. I think I was lucky. I got really lucky being born right when I did. And same with a lot of kids being born in the mid 90s, early 90s. Just kind of missing out on being fucked by technology, even though a lot of us are now. At least it wasn't when we were little kids, and at least it wasn't when our creativity and imagination was blooming. And so that's something to think about with it. At least that's what I think about a lot. So, I mean, subconsciously, it's always kind of on my mind, like what would have happened if I were to have been born a couple years later and, just had all this stuff at my fingertips, and I probably wouldn't have dressed up as Tarzan and ran around and shot a bow and arrow and shit in my backyard and captured crickets and, shot fireworks at the kids at the trailer park and, just, little weird kid shit growing up in a small town. And now that I'm 18 years old, I have all these things, the internet, which I'm probably on too much, waste my time on it, and that sucks. But what about the little kids who are wasting their time on it now? They're gonna waste their whole lives on it. Those are kind of some conceptual things that are hitting hard in the new record. But it's hard for Salt Lake City to nurture a good musician, and there's nothing here that you can really put your finger on and say, oh, Salt Lake City. Yeah, I'm just excited to move out and start a new life, and I'm scared to have to find a new band because I just recently found good musicians who I like and I would be happy touring with, and I would be happy to hang out with all the time. And here I am, saving my money, getting ready to go to Philadelphia and find a whole new band and integrate into a scene that's huge. And I don't even I don't want to integrate into a scene. I more so want to be closer to people who can help me out, and a place where I can play shows continuously and make some more money. And you could do that on the West Coast, but I'm not into it. California doesn't really interest me unless you're like a Burger Records band or some garage rock band. Then get out, And I'd suck at skateboarding, so I'd be very unpopular. But that was a half joke. By the way, I know a lot of great people in California. There's lots of good music, but just not where I want to be. But that's what my future's looking like. And yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen.